I told myself I wasn't going to do a long explanation, and here I am, giving you a long explanation. Let's get into bags. Welcome to Flirting with Travel. I'm Lexi, 1/3 of the Flirting with Travel trio. And today we're talking about the best tips for how to select the perfect travel backpack. Now, if you know anything about me, you know that I do minimalist travel. As of right now, I typically only travel with a backpack and my handbag. And one day my goal is to even cut out the handbag and just carry what I can on my back. So I'm going to be talking about 2 bags today, and these are bags that I've actually traveled with and that I really enjoy. The first of which is the Timbuktu brand Aviator 1. I have actually had this bag for about 7 years, and I've carried it with me to 25 countries. The second bag that I'm going to be using as an example today, and it shouldn't come as any surprise to you if you've seen my Peak Design Travel Backpack review, is the Peak Design Travel Backpack. So let's jump into the top 10 tips for picking the best travel bag. The very first one is the only one on this list that's kind of optional. My first tip is a clean aesthetic. For the Peak Design Travel Backpack, one thing I was really excited about was getting something that looked so sleek and simple. It's not like you're carrying a really brightly colored neon orange Patagonia bag. No shade on Patagonia, it's just not the aesthetic for me. Instead, I want something that almost blends into the surrounding. There are a lot of opportunities where you want to stand out, and I feel like that is what you do with clothing, and I mean, I've got orange hair. That's enough. Do I really need a colorful backpack? I just want something very simple so that when I'm wearing it around, it doesn't scream tourist. Instead, you just look like you could be an expat, you could be a student, or you could be a business traveler. The second tip that you really want in your bag is that you want a water-resistant fabric. Now, this can shake out in a few different ways. Oh dear. Ooh, she's not looking her best. Look away while I get her prepped. Okay, now she's camera ready. I'm sorry you had to see her like that. So looking at the Timbuktu, this is actually made out of a ripstop nylon fabric. And ripstop is really good because it is super abrasion resistant. The other thing when you're looking for water resistance is possibly a rain fly. Now, this bag, I love it. It's got a little secret compartment. Nope. If I remember where it is. Oh, it's the one that has an umbrella. And in it, it holds a full-on rain pouch, which I'm just gonna put on to show you what that's like. Okay. It's actually not fussy at all to put on a rain pack. So imagine that you're walking outside in Ireland and it's always raining there and it starts and stops. You throw this on and you don't have to worry about water getting to your bag at all. However, I maybe used this rain fly like a total of 2 times. Every other time, I'm like, oh, the bag's gonna cover me. And it always did. I've never had a problem with like things getting wet inside of my bag. The rain fly isn't the most important thing, but having a bag with good fabric is. Tip number 3 for buying the absolute best bag is going to be the handles. So when I say that, if you're buying a bag, it needs to have a minimum of 4 handles and they can be placed wherever. Going back to my handy Timbuktu backpack, this bad boy has a top handle, 2 side handles, and then a little secret front handle, which accounts for the 4. Now, every bag that you buy is going to have a top handle. If it doesn't, it's really not doing its job. But you do want 2 side handles. So say you're wearing the bag and you need to grab something out of it real quick, but you know what you need to grab is on this side. So you drop it down, bring it around, and use the handle to pull it up. You want that option on both sides of your bag. The other thing about a handle is that you want something that has a little bit of a gap So really what that's about, and you saw how easily I grabbed it, is because I just, like that. If you have something that's flat, it means that you then have to kind of fit your hand in and you can't go in blind. And that's not what you need. You're running, you're moving. Get something that's got a little bit of space for at least the sides and the top handle. Now the one exception to this, let me turn it sideways so you can see, this front handle sits flush against the bag. You're not going to use this one nearly as often, but every once in a while I did find myself having to do like that. So pretty much the only reason I used the front handle was to go from laying flat to sitting, vice versa, but I wasn't like carrying it by this front handle, so I didn't necessarily need that bit of dimension. Now the Peak Design backpack is something that, I don't know, they just really mastered their handles. So first of all, they have a handle. It is positioned away from the bag, but it's on a curve, which is really nice because when you look at it sideways, you can see that it's sitting away from the bag, but it's not like all the way out. There's not a big gap just because of how it's positioned and then how it's shaped. The other thing is it's a cushioned handle. It's not hard to grab and there's no hard edges. So like when you feel this, it's almost rounded at the top and the bottom. So if you're holding it and you've got a lot of stuff in your bag, it's super heavy, it's not gonna cut into your hand. And that's important. You're thinking, how often am I gonna be holding this? Perfect example is every time I get on an aircraft, I don't like carrying the bag on my backpack or on my back. The reason for that is because you're walking down aisles, people are sitting on either side already, and now you're having to pass them. If you turn just a little bit, now your backpack's hitting people. Instead, I drop it down and I just carry it by this handle, and it's so comfortable with that extra padding. But I'm not gonna get carried away. It's the little things in life that make all the difference, and when you find something that's really well designed, it clicks. But it doesn't just click in your mind, it clicks in your soul. So don't keep a bag that's not clicking in your soul. Now, that's like way too serious. You're probably thinking, why is she so intense about these bags? Now the other thing that this has are two side handles. And these have just the tiniest bit of gap, but there is still a gap and they are still cushioned, and you can easily get your hand in there with no problem. One of the nice things about how smooth this fabric is that even though it's not like sitting very far from the bag, it's so intuitive that when you slide your skin against it, there's no problem getting your hand on these side handles. And there's one on either side. Then they don't have a front handle like the Timbuktu bag does, but then they have a really fun secret handle on the bottom of the bag. And I didn't realize I needed a handle on the bottom of the bag. Say you put your bag in the overhead bin, you didn't put it in head first, you put it in by the back. Now you need to grab it and pull. So you always have a means of getting to your bag. And this is one handle that actually sits, show it to you, pretty flush against the bag, but it needs to because it's sitting on it. The other thing, and I do consider this a handle, this is where your luggage passes through. So if for some reason, in the name of overpacking, you decide to take a rollerboard bag and then you take this backpack, though if you do that, what are you carrying? Why do you have so much? This bag is 35 liters by itself. 45 liters if you expand it. Can you imagine needing 45 liters plus a whole other bag? And if you can't imagine, I mean, kudos to you for clicking on this video. Please continue watching. I don't want to like put you off, but also, why? Why are you doing this to yourself? You don't have to live like that. Just bring less stuff. Anyway, so since I won't be using it as a luggage pass-through, I can use it as a third handle. Again, sits very flat, which it needs to because this is right up against your back, but if for some reason you wanted to carry this duffel bag style, why? You can use this. Those are the handles. Basically, does it pass the hold test? If you're in a store trying out a bag, ask them if you can throw some heavy stuff in the bag and then just hold it. And hold it for like a minute. Don't just pick it up and think, yeah, this is good, because that's how you get things that are not great. You need to know what it feels like when it's at that, is this comfortable stage? In fact, you need to go past the point where it's uncomfortable to see how you're gonna feel. Because you could be standing in line somewhere, you wanna take the backpack off your back because you want a break, but now you're holding it. So you want to make sure that it's comfortable in your hand. So much of picking out a bag, and not just any backpack, just any bag, is the tactile experience of feeling the fabric, feeling how it moves with you. Okay. Did we cover handles? Do you feel like you know what to do to pick a good handle? Because I think we're ready to move on. I don't want to harp on this and be like, wow, she really has a thing for handles. Number 4, what you're looking for when you're looking for a travel backpack is going to be the zippers. This actually might be one of the most important things we talk about, because a backpack with a broken zipper is a flap of fabric. So looking at the Peak Design backpack, ooh, bring it back. We're gonna talk about some zippers. One thing I absolutely love about these, and this is something that you need if you're getting a backpack, is a zipper that's coated. So you can see right here that little shiny bit. That means that they've coated the zipper with nylon. Look at like a zipper on your denim or something like that, you're gonna see it's just fabric. And your bag is only as good as the weakest point. So if you just have a fabric zipper and you're outside in the rain, it doesn't matter how good the nylon is on the bag, water would be able to seep in. Just run your hands along it. If it feels just like a fabric, it's just a fabric. If it feels kind of slick, then you know that it's going to keep water out. Now that doesn't mean that you can submerge the bag. If I put this bag in water, water's going to get in. But if a drop of water falls down, it's gonna roll right off of the coating. The next most important thing, and I cannot stress this enough, make sure you enjoy the feel of your zipper pull. Because I have carried many a bag that the zipper pull came apart and then you were stuck trying to move it just by that little metal piece. And that's the most uncomfortable feeling. So one thing about the Peak Design backpack that I absolutely love is that zipper pull. But that, you can get your finger in this super easy and see how nice that is? And that's the other portion, is that you want it to be easy to pull, but the bag also needs to be designed so that you can move the zipper easily. So when you're trying out a bag, if you're checking in a store, or if you just happen to get it at home and you're seeing if you want to keep it, make sure to pack out your bag and then do zipper pulls. Don't just zip and unzip when your bag is empty. Stuff your bag full and then zip and unzip when your bag is nice and packed out so that you can see, is it going to move easily? Because you're standing in TSA, they told you that you have a pair of tweezers, you got to get to the very bottom of your bag to get something. You need your zipper to work. There's nothing like pulling your zipper and coming away with the zipper tie. Oh, that's so... I'm gonna get off of it because I'm just getting mad thinking about the idea of holding a zipper pull separate from my zipper. Find something that's not going to do that to you. And then the last thing that you want out of your zippers, you're like, what? There's more? Always. No, your zippers, they just do so much for your bag, but you want something that gives you a little bit of protection from theft. So you're traveling, you're going to Paris. It's a big city. Any big city that you go to is going to have pickpockets. You're getting on the train to get to your hotel, to get around. You want a bag that gives you some protection. What I really like about the Peak Design is that every one of their zippers has some way to protect your items. We've got a side panel over here that leads to the internal compartment of the bag. If you want protection, what you can do is unzip your main compartment. Where's this? Sorry, it's kind of fun to find these items. Okay, so you get your side zipper, put it inside the bag, and then pull it up. There's a tiny little corner stay right here that will hide where the zipper went into. And because I've zipped it up from the inside, now there's no way to open this pocket without opening this main pocket. Which is the other nice thing, is that on these zipper pulls, they have a snap, And so what you can do is take it apart, loop it through the bag, and then put it back on. But now, if you try to unzip it, it's not going to go farther than the zipper pull. And if you pull harder, it's just gonna take both of your zippers with you. It's such a clever, low-tech way of protecting your items, but it's going to stop you from getting robbed, because at this point, if someone has to unsnap this and then unzip it, by then you're going to feel them and turn around. So now you've got your side zippers protected, your top zippers protected, and you didn't even need a lock. One thing I loved about like the Aviator Timbuktu bag is that I've never lost anything out of this bag, because you cannot get to it very easily. So first you've got your main compartments. The first compartment is protected by a strap, or by a snap and then a zipper. So to get to the zipper, you actually have to unsnap this. And that's a big clasp. You're gonna feel it. Then you've got to get to another zipper based on where you have your zipper pulls. And that only gets you into the top compartment of the bag, not even the main compartment. To get into the main compartment of this bag, you have to go through 4 different snaps that are on either side. So you're actually having to work hard to get into this to even get to the zippers. So then you unsnap. And now you can get to the zippers. But you can see where this little bit of extra fabric protects your zippers so that it's almost impossible to get to them. And the other thing about this is that they did not coat their zippers. So these are not nylon coated zippers. Water's not going to run off of them. But the other thing is you have a nylon fabric that's protecting your zipper, which means that these are 2 very different bags with very different ways of solving the same problem, which is protecting you from theft and protecting you from water damage. Find a bag that does it. It doesn't have to do it in the way that Timbuktu does. It doesn't have to do it in the way that Peak Design does, but it does need to offer you a creative solution for protecting you from theft and making sure that your zippers are protected from water. Next part that we're gonna look at are water bottle pocket. This one is slightly optional, although I very much recommend for your sanity that it not be optional. Look for a bag that has a water bottle pocket. On the Aviator bag, you're gonna see conspicuously missing a water bottle pocket. So when I was ready to shop for a new bag, it was really important that the bag had a pocket for a water bottle. And voila! The Peak Design does have pockets, and these are incredibly deep. That's so important. Once you get a water bottle pocket, you don't want something like tiny and mesh so that when you put in a 1-liter bottle, you have to worry about, if I move too much, is it gonna fall out? You want a sturdy, deep pocket. I mean, who doesn't want deep pockets? We all do. Now, one thing I love about this, and let me grab a water bottle. Okay, so I've got my water bottle. You want something that allows you to slide it in nice and easy. Bam! And you can see how far it goes. And you know how I was talking about how you have that pocket, that little hidden pocket? You still can't see the zipper. Like, I guess if you really looked, but if you just tuck it in, you don't see the zipper at all. But that is a quality pocket. If I move this way, that way, this way, that way, nothing's going to fall out. And what I really enjoy about this bag is that I have 2 of them. So now on the other side, I still make use of this pocket. Instead of putting in a water bottle, I'll throw in an umbrella and my tripod. That's all the energy that we're gonna give to water bottle pockets, because if you don't know that you need water, then I don't know what to tell you.